It's Michael Houghton here for Play Practice Play, Lesson 11, Counter Attacking. Alright, so here's our overall plan. We'll do a warm-up, followed by a warm-up game of pass, follow your pass, followed by a small-sided game, with our practice being a counter-attacking drill, and then back to our small-sided game. Let's break it down into detail. So our normal warm-up slide. We'll then go into pass, follow your pass, which most of you will probably know, so this should be a very simple explanation. But basically, we have two cones, which in this case are represented by the blue dots. And we have two players starting with the ball, and one player standing on the other side. Now, these two cones, you might just want to start by being 2 meters apart, and you can bring them further out as you go. And basically, the first player here is just going to make a pass to the ball, and then they're going to run after their ball. So once they've made the pass, they follow the ball and go over to this cone. This player here picks the ball up, passes it back, and this time this player will receive it. They then run and follow the pass. So basically, every time the ball just moves and the player follows their pass. Very, very straightforward, almost doesn't require an explanation. We're then going to go into a small-sided game, and this time the constraint is going to be that the team defending that it's a normal game, except if a team were to start by the ball inside their circle, all right, so they're defending in this case, and that play result in them scoring a goal, then that goal is worth 3. Okay, and there's two ways that the team can do this. They could either be defending their own circle, get the ball, pass it quickly out, and score a goal at the other end. Or alternatively, they can pass the ball back into their circle and basically look to start from first making some space by getting the ball back into the circle and then expanding out from there. All right, now we need to be a little bit liberal on the definition of play. All right, so basically, if they kind of do it and maybe there's an intercept but they recover it back, that's okay. All right, so we're looking for some sort of, multiple passes of going in and then scoring. But ultimately, we're looking to see if we can see some sort of counter-attacking. All right, and hopefully we see our team set up for the counter-attack as well. All right, so that's basically what we're looking for. Standard normal game, 1 point for a goal. However, if there's a goal scored from a counter-attacking opportunity, or where the ball is passed back into the circle, that's then worth 3. We then go on to our practice, which is a very simple counter-attacking drill. Okay, I'm going to explain it now very briefly. So we basically set up, okay, these, on the blue cones, we have our attacking team, and this is just a simple 3v2. Okay, so for the last few trainings, we've been doing 3v3, and we've been doing some sort of combination of this, all right? So remember last week we started with our defenders behind here, and we had 2, and we had to do this. So this is very, very similar. Okay, but now the emphasis is more on the attack than it is on the defense. Okay, so we'll have 2 defenders start in. These defenders can exchange with maybe some other defenders standing behind the goal and just swap in every time. We have a ball start here. We're really looking for our player to get our ball out here. All right, so we want a nice early pass. The key to a counter-attack is a nice long early pass, and this player then is going to look to hold the ball up ideally. It's very unlikely they're just going to be able to go straight in here because chances are this defender would come back. Okay, so we're just going to be looking for them to hold the play up whilst our other players look to get themselves in position. Okay, so we've got a 3v2 situation here. We should be exploiting that, okay, by getting our pass going long first, okay. This player holding the ball up, and that's what we're teaching this player to do, okay. Now, what do I mean by hold the ball up? Basically, you can almost use the analogy from rugby union, whereas a player tries to hold the ball up in a tackle, it's very difficult for them to because they've got to release the ball. In hockey, it's a lot simpler, all right? So we're just looking for this player to buy themselves some time, okay? So that could just mean dribbling the ball and moving their body away from the defender coming in, all right? Or it can be, moving the ball into space, could even be moving it that way, although I wouldn't love that as an option. But if that was to hold the play up, so be it. So even a loop run like that, maybe something like that, just to do something to hold the play so that we actually get ourselves a scenario where another player can be there. Now, the best way for them to do that is to probably hit the baseline. All right, so start dribbling in this direction. This defender will come back, but as that defender comes back, then we look to pass the ball back up here as this player is running in. All right, so I'll just demonstrate that again. It's a little bit confusing. So we can give our long pass up to here. Okay, so the ball is now with this player here. This player is going to start dribbling into this direction. This player will drop back, all right? But as this player is dropping back, this player has now made a bit of a run here, and we look for what we call a guard pass or a 90 pass back, all right? Because now you've got a situation where this defender's out of the way, and this player can go straight in. This player, meanwhile, has moved around to here. You've got a 2v1 there. Okay, so that's really what we're looking to do. Okay, the final thing to note is obviously if this pass isn't on, right? So let's just say for a second that this defender moved themselves to here pretty quickly, right? We've now got a situation where this pass isn't on. Then this is where we want to get this pass going, right? So this player might come out here. This player might dribble forward, draw this defender in. Okay, you can see how simple, it looks so simple on a whiteboard, but the truth is that hockey is that simple. We're looking to draw a player, right? And then pass into space. Okay, we then give our pass here. By this stage now, we're going to draw this player in. Same thing, right? Boom. Okay, I've made that look exceptionally simple. It just goes back to this old rule. When you have the ball, you're looking to draw a defender in. Okay, we have a 3v2, so there's always going to be a free person to pass to, right? We draw our defender in and we pass the ball before they get too close to us that they're a problem to us, as in they can try and tackle us. And that's all we're looking to do here with an emphasis, all right? And I just want to emphasize this, with an emphasis on getting an early pass, okay? And it should be noted, the other idea here, okay, so I've given you two ideas so far, is that this player moves forward. This player actually runs all the way across, and we look to get this ball going down here, okay? And then this player holds up again. So there's so many different options here that we want to try and see our players utilizing as much space as possible, creating those counter-attacking opportunities, because they do exist, right? They really do exist in hockey. And if we can get our players to actually identify them, it's going to make a massive difference to the results that we have during a match. All right, so back to play two. We go back into the game. Again, we can keep that constraint in. We can get rid of it if we want to. But to be honest, with this constraint, we may as well keep it there because it doesn't really have an impact. Everything else is about the game, and there's not going to be any other major constraints on the players, and just highlight good examples of counter-attacking. Finally, this was lesson 11, so we're almost there. We're almost at 14, so I've got another 3 to go after this lesson. So do subscribe if you can, and remember to play, practice, play.